Everybody, it looks like we are live today. How's everybody doing?
Pretty
CP.
good. So, welcome everyone to Team Bonus Actions bonus to the bonus roundtable to where that we are basically discussing the events of our charity last stream. Live stream weekend. It was a bunch of good food, good people, tons, and then there was a lot of tons of games. And then that we was able to reach our charity goal. So then we are very excited about that. How about everybody else?
Heck yeah.
Alrighty then. Oh, go. Sorry. People were still celebrating.
Yeah, I was super excited that I made my original goal of 250 and then was able to get another 250 on top of that. That was just really exciting for me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that beats most of our other personal ones.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean that we had best. I mean that. So just overall general consensus from everybody on the panel. That how did y'all think that this year had fared compared to the last two events?
Definitely less tiring than the first one. But I mean, I missed a lot having to work, but I think it went well this year. I think that having two places for us to be able to switch between games and everything else and having that much space made it so much less stressful.
My students who watched it who follow me on Instagram, who saw a little bit of it, they were entertained. So you definitely were entertaining.
We entertained the children.
Yay, that's good.
It is what we are about.
Yeah, that I would just say from just a personal standpoint, I would say that this year would be on par with last year two, and then I still think that this is the best. I still think that this is the best year that we have had of the event.
I have no point of reference since this was my first time, but that was a hoot and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. This is actually the fourth year I've done Extra Life, but it's my first year doing anything with TBA. But I mean, everything seemed to go really well, and I had a lot of fun. So.
We got to see some people we hadn't seen in a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah. Didn't that you wanted to join? Hello, who just joined?
it's not.
It would be a Knox.
Oh,
Sorry about
all
that.
right then.
Technical issue.
Hey, Knox. All right, and then at that, then that that now then that is fine, Knox. Then that the opening question I just asked, which is basically how in the world did you enjoy that this year compared to the other years that we have had of the charity weekend?
Oh, I had a blast. We the first year that that Leash was able to come, which was awesome. She was able to actually. While she did not take part in anything, it was a good chance for her to get to see a bunch of people that we ain't seen in a minute. And you know when it comes down to a situation where I haven't seen where we haven't seen Hewitt and Emily in about a year, and and aside from Cannon, that's the last two people that she's seen that of everybody that was there. Because I don't think we've seen. I've seen Chris. I've seen LeBlanc before Mish has, and that's been a couple of years at least, and kind of the same thing with Christina. It's been quite a minute since we've had a chance to hang out with them, and that was awesome because we miss faces. But as far as the games and everything else go, everything that I played in was an absolute blast. I enjoyed the hell out of everything. Had a couple of long setup jokes that came to a pretty good fruition. As well as the for the first time in three. And we've been playing Critter Showdown. We've played it 3 times over the course of like 5 years. And so for the first time in 5 years, Dale Nope Rope Jenkins was able to use the joke. I used to be the preacher, and I specialized in shotgun weddings, and actually shot somebody.
Actually hit. The only thing that was better was you finding the knife rather than your gun.
Mm-hmm. Twice.
And twice. And Christina rolling the one thing I have wanted someone to roll since I created this fucking game. I was hoping it would be
Buffalo
Nox.
Gals, won't you come out tonight?
I was always hoping Nox would roll Buffalo Showgirl because I just feel like it fits him to have to play that role. But the fact Christina rolled it made my fucking night.
Yeah, that was like if I never play Nope Rope again, I will be satisfied. Although I think Nope Rope is reoccurring with the one caveat is that he can never be the preacher.
Oh, absolutely not.
And that someone else has to be the preacher. Just to give him somebody to hate.
I am declaring this now. Any future games where you play Nope Rope, you are barred from playing the preacher.
And I appreciate that because Nope Rope was 100%. Aside from as a gamer in general, playing actually getting the amazing game that I feel that my game, The Wheel, came off pretty much like there was only a couple of things that for how it could have gone, it went really, really, really well.
I'm so sad I didn't get to watch any of The Wheel.
There was more that could have happened for what the choices that were made and that the party took and went through and did. I am superiorly satisfied in my game, in my world, and in what happened. That is barely edging out Nope Rope and Critter Showdown for me. And coming in a very close third was the 10-word designation for my Warforged rogue.
That was amazing.
That was great.
That sneaking Avi into that game was.
You managed to put Avi in that game.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Robot Avi.
That was pretty great.
So then that actually leads on to that the next question of that what was everyone's favorite game to listen to, be in, or just go on, just freeform it. What was just everybody's favorite game?
I miss so much. I know coming into End of Call of Cthulhu and everyone being forced to sing Jolene was pretty fucking amazing.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
I was back. I had call from father.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Taro. I would just say personally that that my favorite game was The Wheel because of, just as Nox had said, just basically some of the choices that were made. And I would just like, wait a minute, I have a teleporting flaming Rockweiler familiar. So why not try to save that dude? But even though that it really didn't matter, but it was still a good choice made by by just me as a player. And then that that the co-DMing, I absolutely loved that aspect of that, because then that, that who knows that, that we may have just more that into the future too. Above all that, I just really just cannot say that which game is just an absolute favorite.
For me, playing in Velvet Ribbon and actually getting to play around a little bit on Solus was I really really dug that. That
That
had
was a nice little bit of personal nostalgia.
yeah that harkens back to the reason that that's effectively the reason why we're all talking to each other across an internet kitchen table right
It's
now.
like, I know the jokes and the inside stuff didn't make sense to anybody outside of that original, group that was in steampunk, but to have that brought in was, even if it was just inside jokes galore, it was pretty great.
Oh yeah,
We did not though include bear bacon.
Did not include bear bacon. I was just so sad I couldn't play Aura because I actually know some Polish now.
Holds a special place for me. Critter Showdown was just Critter Showdown and Crash Pandas was just ridiculous.
Oh my god. You guys might have, if you guys play Nope Rope and Two Shots again, you might have changed how the map will be because you got the saloon set on fire.
I was preoccupied. I needed my damn shotgun, and I was.
Is it truly a Wild West showdown if a building doesn't burn to the ground?
That is actually a first, because they've never fucked up a trap so bad that one of the cats could pick it up and use it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just the I don't have any other really way to describe it except for the wheel ended up played pretty much exactly how I hoped that it would. My legitimate the entire plan that happened at the tree line at the end, where the group saved Sweet by the Wisp the Wildfire Druid sending his familiar out to teleport Sweet closer, and then both Whisper the Drow and Thrasher the Duragar, both of them casting shadows back to back to each other to give them a screen. Like that was pure, like, chef's kiss brilliance. But I have to, my second, but that was my second favorite. My third favorite has to be Shiny and the guys that y'all were fighting literally playing hot potato with a hatchet like 3 or 4 times. Cat's in a tree, Tabaxi in a tree, dude on the ground, dude throws an axe, Tabaxi catches it, throws it back at him, misses, he picks it up, he throws it back at the cat, he misses, the cat picks it up, throws it back at the dude. That was just playing hot potato with the axe was just amazing. But I will say that what made that game for me was during the showdown at the end, and for anybody who hasn't seen it, in a world that there have been no gods for about 5 millennia, the closest thing to one shows up and has a personal grudge against these people's organization. All of them are drawn down and going, okay, if this is how it's gonna happen, this is how it's gonna fucking happen. And this guy going, you all suck. Remove your insignia and take your place beneath me. And the Duragar going, okay. And he pulls his fucking insignia off And the drow looks at the godlike being, sees this happen, and turns full attention onto the fucking Duragar, going, "You're gonna hold on for a second. Me and you are throwing hands right the fuck now." That was just tops.
You're welcome.
That was just 100% tops. And legitimately, that in itself is probably the reason that 4 of you survived. Because had it been a more unified front, then there probably would have been a bit more collateral damage. But on the bright side, if for whatever reason things happen and all the stars align right, then there are legitimately 4 character sheets that I can literally pull out in my home in-person game, and these characters are now in the fucking world. They exist. They are shagging ass. They are approximately on and not approximately. They are the same level as my home party. So as my home party grows and gets stronger, then the 4 of you will get messages. Hey, you got your character sheet. I need you to level them up a couple of levels so that I can keep them on track with how
I would be more than happy to reprise.
So, and if that's the case, then there's a good distinct possibility I would have absolutely no problem reprising this and doing it every year.
I still need to send you mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll email mine to you.
Because I think I got everybody else's. But Sog is going to become legend. Of just
Dog is legendary already.
It's already a legend.
and I'm just gonna turn this whirlwind of devastation and just walk up to dudes and just start singing.
Wellerman.
And not paying attention to when the deity shows up, because he thought making the wood ash cigar was more important with his time.
So yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of everything that I played in and ran. The Crash Pandas game was a bit tamer than it was the last time, and that still includes a neutral rat trying to drop kick 2 guys off of horses by tying a rope to a carriage, and a possum covering himself in red paint, screaming "I am witnessed" and jumping off of the stagecoach onto one of those guys. And yeah, that was and a murder crazy Blackfoot ferret, and
I have no problems with this.
I enjoyed the shit out of everything that I played in. I really wish I could have played the Call of Cthulhu game, but it just out of time to put together a character sheet and everything else, which was that's on me, and I missed that, but I'll catch it next year.
I will say before we switch on, the favorite game that I ran is the Call of Cthulhu, simply because it went the way I actually hoped it would, without me having to push anything. And I got to hit like every single horror movie trope pretty quickly.
It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, Nasa or else Nate, do y'all got anything else to add?
I don't have anything to add, because I had to miss this year, but I'm glad everybody had fun.
I gotta say, I think my favorite one, like my favorite story to play, was probably the wheel. That was some top notch. Even just as a one shot, it felt whole and cohesive, and so like that was awesome.
Thank you. Stolen approximately 80% from Matthew Colville.
I enjoy betraying the party.
My favorite character though, what to play was probably it was probably Snake Shot the ferret from the Rascal Trails. That was just too fun.
All right. Next just item would be like so basically anything that we could possibly try to do to improve on things, starting with just myself and just like starting off with just myself a little bit. I would just say that like if that anything if that we plan on doing like anything like a PvP battle or something, I would say either just start off at just like a level 5 or else a 10 that kind of just has a shrinking kind of like arena that is kind of like a Fortnite or else a or just else a I'm trying to think of that game like Apex Legends type to where then at the battle arena
Hunger
just
Games
keeps
does
on
that too. Yeah.
shrinking. Right. Yeah. So then at that way, then at that arena, if that a character is like left out up in this fiery or else wall of force that is shrinking in, then that I guess that all of the DMs can basically make a consensus basically that could be like a young adult dragon's breath weapon attack as just like a dexterity save to get them to do damage. So then that they have to move in closer to kind of just speed things up because that a level 20 game, all of us could basically stall forever if we actually wanted to.
Okay, how does this sound?
Better.
Okay, good.
I'm in agreement. The only thing that I super had any issue with, I guess, mechanics wise, and the way that the this last extra life went was the last game was the chaos I expected it to be. But if we do that again, a lower level and a set side DM that is not participating would be a good idea, or brackets. We just did not have enough people by the time we got to it for brackets. I'd also suggest no big PvP battle like that again next year. And just if we were to do another big PvP, it'd be a big separate event that we do, not part of a whole
Yeah.
weekend.
Mhm.
Because from everything that I heard, unfortunately, we had to cut out before it started. But from everything I heard, like that could legitimately be the focus of a weekend.
Oh yeah, like we didn't even get. I think the only person that got under 100 was Nilvac, and he oh my dog was galloping. He still had like so many tricks up his sleeves that like I don't think we would have killed him in the next 3 rounds anyway.
Probably not.
I mean, to be fair, that Triss did take a lot of damage, and if that I possibly did not heal myself, she could have died. Could have been the first to die.
But yeah, I would think like my big thing for in terms of like improvement would. I mean, it's not necessarily improvement. I just think like I think what we had like 9 games this time around, and I enjoy like the variety of games, but there was a time when we were like, okay, this game ran 30 minutes late, and now we have to take at least a 30-minute break to recharge and let the other DM get ready, and then some of us were cooking, so I think like two suggestions actually. Now that I mentioned cooking, one, like lower the amount of games so we can have longer games and we don't have to worry about burning out or like speeding up, or we don't have to worry about like what time it is if like something goes over, because we don't have to cram another two games in at the end of the day. And when it comes to cooking, I was kind of like, I came in at the last minute, and I kind of wish I would have like taken some time to actually look at the menu and everything and prepared a little bit better for that. So I think on my end, at least, I want to be able, like next time we formulate a menu, I want to be better prepared on it.
I think the big, like I said, the big takeaway from this event was just we've seemed to have the technical pretty much handled, and now it's just a matter of fine tuning our logistics on 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 timetables and prepping and stuff like that. So I think just a little bit more pre-planning and potentially a couple of meetings about a month or so, about a month out, and then about 2 weeks out would probably do us wonders, just to make sure that everything is the first meeting a month out, just to make sure, just to kind of finalize the plan, and the meeting 2 weeks out just to sort out logistics and anything else that may have popped up in the meantime, because time and life is a thing. Just to iron out all of that, just that way we have a plan, and then we go forth and tell other people the plan, and then we make soup. I don't know. I'm not very good at logistics, so
Chili's a good way to go.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That actually
Stews and stuff.
that actually feeds into a couple of things I had written down. A lot of it for kind of the housekeeping for afterwards. But what you're saying is the big issue I think we ran into this year was communication. And part of it's my fault, because I tried contacting people, getting people to tell me what's going on up to 3 months ahead of time with this. Started trying to organize it, and then a lot of people ghosted for 2 months or up until the actual day of. And I did not want to. I thought this was more of a group effort, like the last couple years, because we kind of worked together, about 3 or 4 of us, to kind of organize it, and then it seemed a couple people phoned it in thinking, I'll say it, think I was going to take care of a lot of stuff like I have in the past, and I didn't have the time to, and I did not force the point with them, and I didn't do it myself because I don't have the patience or time for that. So going forward this next year, I think we need to pick the people who are organizing it, and that they need to be in constant communication about what's going on, or they are not organizing it. And leads into the next thing I was going to say, is we need redundancy. That if somebody is going to be late or can't make it because of life, we have someone else that knows how to do that, and it can't just all fall onto 1 or 2 people. But that's going to be a house cleaning or housekeeping thing that we got to take care of as we move forward, because I think that would have helped out with the cooking. I think that would have helped out with setting up the charity and who was running what technology and what widgets are the best to use on the stream, and how that all connects back to the donation process, because we did not have communication on how exactly that works. And at the point that we could have tried to figure it out, it was already time to start. So that's just something we're going to have to take care of in the future.
Yeah, I agree. Like making a list of things that we could potentially put people in charge of, or have a list, not necessarily in charge of, but like let's say,
Things that need to get done.
yeah, things that need to
Exactly.
Do
get done, and
do
things
you
that,
have a checklist or something?
yeah,
We did, and most of the things got checked off, but a couple things did not, and there was no communication that those things had not been checked off. So that was a bit of an issue.
Might I recommend something like a Google spreadsheet for everybody being able to see and make adjustments as we're checking things off?
spreadsheet would actually be a good idea, and also like it. Oh, 1 second, I'm sorry.
Also, the idea of understudies for each like major task is a really good idea.
That's kind of what I meant with redundancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
I was
100%
saying that's a
agree.
good idea. I was agreeing to that.
Oh, then that's absolutely a good idea. For me, I would say that as that a lot of people had like pointed out during just the hour breaks and stuff, saying that like that since then that that they only get to come down or come up rather to basically see just like to just see Miro and Frey, and then that it is always during just like these busy times. So maybe that we like reduce the number of games to maybe like five in a sense, like it can be like three simple systems and two D&D games, and then that so that way that so then that that way then that can be less stress on us, but it can also open up the opportunities for like just like more things about basically that somebody had basically brought out like an actual in-person roundtable of us just talking about random D&D and stuff. That would be a very good thing to do, and then it just also give people enough time and then enough space to basically take a break, take a breather, to just like relax in a sense, instead of just already just up in just go mode.
Yeah, I think probably reducing the number we have solidly planned. Like we have a definite we're gonna play this on Friday, these couple on Saturday, this one or two on Sunday. Just because it's
And allow
we
for a little
always
more impromptu.
we always say we've done this 3 years. We always say, well, this one will start at this time, and then this one will start at this time because we'll be done by then. Well, then we start an hour late, and then we play a heck of a lot longer, and then we have to wait for someone to get here or get done. So I think just parsing back the number that we have, but having something in the wings like Crash Pandas or Honey Heist, just in case something does end early, or if we have
Yeah.
kind of like what we had happen Sunday. Devin was supposed to run the last game, which is he wouldn't have gotten to do anyway because we played, high noon until 7 o'clock at night. But if something were to happen, because normie life gets in the way, we have
Yeah.
something to also throw in
Yeah.
there.
And
Plan
we don't even
plan a
have
bit
to.
lower and have things in the wings ready to go if
Yeah,
necessary.
and I would
Exactly.
even say like tabletop gaming, like RPGs, don't even have to be a thing. We can do board games.
Well, that
I
also kind of that
I
also kind of
think
segues into
I think that was going to be more along board games were going to be more along what Knox had been planning.
yeah.
While we were this weekend.
My idea is we've got tabletop, we've got RPGs and stuff like that on lock for the live stream on for Extra Life. That is covered. The idea that I had is maybe maybe like a springtime get together, say like March April if possible, to get everybody together. We can do board games. We can do any other party games, any kind of other game, and not even necessarily we can stream it, but not necessarily for. But the goal of this event would be less about streaming. And I mean, obviously, we would stream some stuff, but more along the lines of everybody getting together, playing games, and hanging out.
I like this.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You know,
Hashtag
because
family
it's
reunion. Yes.
because at that point, because at that point, we can stream, and it's not we're not on a clock. We can do something. We can do something relatively substantial, like an Arkham Horror Third Edition. We can do something long form, because Arkham Horror third edition, couple hours, especially if you have a decent enough people that know what they're doing and can kind of usher in the new people
Is that
to get in.
before or after you set it up?
Oh, setup's not terrible. Trust me, I have second edition. Setup in
Do
third edition is not that
y'all
bad.
do y'all ever lurk on Reddit? The live streams on Reddit?
No.
There'll be people like just dressed up in a frog suit, just talking to the stream. I mean, if y'all just want to get weird with it, y'all can't. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to
And
be
like
a game.
Spence's idea of just sitting down and doing a live stream, an actual in person round table, sitting around a table and just talking and taking and answering questions from chat, getting chat involved and stuff like that. That would be dope. But essentially, have a pretty much an event that's stress free for everybody involved. Particularly games that don't really have like a DM role to them would probably be optimal. That way everybody can just play, except one, because I really want to run not one night, Werewolf Legacy, and you need a minimum of 9 players in order to play that. So that is a thing that I would like to do. Because I can never get that many people consistently for more than like 15 minutes before somebody passes out, because I've got at least one person that goes to work at 4:00 in the morning and then comes to the house once later that day. So he's usually out by like 9:30. So I would very much like to use this as an opportunity to run that game. And just to hang out, something that we haven't had a chance, something that a lot of us haven't had a chance to do in the past, especially in the past year and a half.
Hell yeah.
All right, that sounds good. And then I did also pose up the question for more of the newer members, and also Nate. Nate, how was the synergy compared to the ones who have done the team bonus action charity weekend before? And then that, speaking just for myself and just having being both a player and also a DM with just NASA, it has actually been just a blast to basically be just able to synergize and have that sort of like resonance with her just form of chaos versus just my chill mellow style, but also still just terrifying the hell out of all y'all, despite the fact of that I am not an evil person in games, that my dice are just are just evil. But honestly, that it just feels like that after just doing this for 3 years, and then just just being introduced into like Chris, and then and just Miro and Freda, I genuinely feel like that you guys are family. All of y'all are, because of the fact then that that it just feels just like a rite of passage, and in that I just think that we all resonate pretty well with each other because as that Miro has said before, it just feels like that all of our homebrew worlds, even if it's just monster of the week or just our Dungeon and Dragons world, it just feels like that it's about to be some kind of end game situation going on where our own multiverses are just colliding.
That's a really interesting thing because all of our multiverses colliding was my college polka band name. So
And also, it's kind of what we did with steampunk too.
oh gosh, yes.
It's like literally steampunk was just like, oh, we're all from different worlds, and there's a big calamity that makes us able to travel between them.
Neat. Ooh, new beer.
Pretty much. I mean, that's where Solus came from. I mean, the whole idea that, especially in D&D, there's a multiverse. So why is it not possible to travel from one world to another? It is.
The second edition actually has magic ships that can go between planets.
Spell
like they look like wooden ships.
Spell jammers, and it's probably going to be coming back at the tail end of 5th edition.
So what are y'all looking for?
And my dad is trying to call me again.
Okay.
No, I just
What's
hung
up,
up on
Nate?
him.
So what are y'all looking for the future? Would y'all want to try to get consistent games going? I know y'all like D&D, but I found this game. I was talking to Chris about it. Mothership. It's kind of like a sci-fi horror thing. It's really easy to play and quick to play, and it's becoming more popular. They got a Kickstarter going right now, and they just raised $1 million for it.
Oh, that's actually I was going to say that's the 3 points I have on housekeeping.
Okay,
I'll
let y'all get to it.
Well, no, it's connected to what you're saying. That's the question I have for folks.
Well, I have the recent Humble Bundle I bought a bunch of like assets for like sci-fi music, medieval sound effects. So if y'all want to get into like editing the games and adding music and sound effects and everything to it, I'm willing to learn how to do that. And like I was telling Chris, he was talking, or Topher, just to be clear, he was telling me y'all want to invest in better equipment, and I'm willing to invest in it as long as we can start getting consistent. And I'm talking with myself too. I'm not calling anybody out. I mean, I get tired too. That's one reason I've zoned out of Spence's games is because it starts so late. I get so tired.
Speaking of like that, I did put together a list of equipment, and my whole idea with it is like I want to create okay, so I'm going to be honest with something that's been bugging me since the first Extra Life. And it did bug me a lot in the first Extra Life because there was a quaintness about it. It was fun. It was new. And we were just, fucking around. This time around, I was like, man, I really wish I could just change the lighting a bit. If I had something to dampen the noise, because it was a little bit echoey and I'm like sitting there and I've been streaming a little bit more this year. So I've been like looking up stuff on how to like fix audio and how to fix lighting and all of that. So I am definitely like wanting to look into a way to invest in building equipment that can create like basically my idea, and I'm gonna have to get with you, Hewitt, to see what would be the most feasible and cheapest way to do this is to basically be able to make a portable impromptu studio on the cheap. So it would be stuff for sound dampening or lighting and cameras that we can pretty much set up wherever wherever we're streaming at. Of course, I think a lot of it might happen at Hewitt's house, but you know.
That is unfortunately because I have a child. I cannot leave unattended for any length of time because he is 7 and my child, which means he is not trustworthy. These are facts.
Yeah, you just need to find a good setup for like. I like the 3-camera setup that Critical Role has. With just something that shows like everybody's faces, because I think one of the things I noticed while watching the stream, it's kind of hard to get into it when you can't see everybody's expressions. You can't see, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it would be good to. What happened? Oh no,
Who'd we lose?
My computer was.
We didn't lose anyone.
So yeah, I mean, and that's not like a hard thing to set up. Cameras, you know, electronics can be expensive, but like everything I'm looking at is going to be a modest setup, and I'm not going to ask anyone. I'm not. Well,
I've already told him I'd help with one camera for
okay,
the group.
I
It'll be my Christmas
should
gift
say
to the group.
God damn it, you have an echo, Nate. Anyway, no, the way I would put it is like no one is forced to help or contribute. I'm not going to shame anyone into contributing, but it is going to be open for everyone to contribute, and I'm going to be contributing some. I am pretty strapped for cash right now, but I'm going to be starting at the beginning of the year, start buying sound dampening walls and looking into buying or building an apparatus for cameras actually, and seeing how we can wire that on the fly.
And I have a tripod already for a camera from when I was doing yearbook.
I mean,
Okay.
none of this is a bad idea. The only thing I'm going to say before anybody spends money on anything like this, we have to be consistent first. We have to be able to prove that we can actually stick to a schedule so this investment that anyone or the whole group makes is actually worth it.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I agree.
And that's the first thing I was going to ask.
100% agree with that because that.
We stream every Monday a game that is a continuation of what started this 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Kyle, Cannon, myself, and Claire all started Forgotten Sands. Ran it in 3.5 until we switched over to 5e when everybody made it to level 10 because that just made life so much simpler. And then we finished Forgotten Sands right before we did the first Extra Life. And after that's where we picked up with Lost Seas and continued. So Monday is a day I specifically set aside to play a game with my friends who I've been playing with forever at this point that I would like to continue streaming on TBA if nobody has a problem. And for the most part, we're pretty consistent with that. And it's going to get to the point to where, and this is something I was going to talk to the players the next time we play Holy Winds, is unless half the party's gone, we play. I think that would be doable. What about you, Knox?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I 100%, I am 100% part of that. Things happen. Things have a tendency to happen, and I end up having to bow out. I try to do it as early as I can. Just as things with me usually tend up happening kind of last minute. But that I'm absolutely 100% down with that. let the story go. Let the story, as far as me personally, let the story go. I will catch up.
So
Uh,
I was going to say Mondays has been something that's been working, but we tried something new this year. We tried to have a regular second day of the week game. And Thursday has been the day we've been running it, but I know it's starting to come into conflict. Wednesday is not possible for a whole lot of folks. So I was just going to try to say I do want us to continue to broadcast twice a week, but it has to be something we can actually do, and we need to know what time people could play. And if I'm not the one running it, if someone else is running it, like Spence has run several of our Thursday games for the last couple months, I'm fine with not even being involved in me just running the stream and monitoring it if folks want to do it another day of the week. But I want us to have if we're going to do 2 days, I want us to have a set day and a set time.
I will go in and throw in my pledge. I mean, I already
Right. I
talked to
100%
y'all.
agree with that.
Yeah, I already talked to you about running a D&D game and a continuation of your D&D game. And I was looking at I want to run a Pugmire game because it keeps coming up in conversation, and I keep looking at my old Roll20, and I have all the notes from the first time we played it. And I'm like, why don't I just relook at this and redo Catahoula's Boon? But yeah, I'll do my pledge is like I want to run a game Into the Woods on Sunday. It's the time I want to run it in person. Like I think I do better in person, and I personally like the in-person games more. It's just me.
I could probably do Sundays. I won't lie.
Sundays.
Nate, are you saying something?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how I got my microphone set up. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say it's like what Cannon just said, talking about how you can YouTube it and record it. That's kind of what I would like to do with Mothership. I don't know. I know I've talked about it. Nobody's really said anything on it, but like recording it and make it sound like a space opera. Maybe just do like hour-long episodes. I don't know if that's something anybody would be interested in.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. Hell yeah.
Even if I mean, I can go look for a group because there's plenty of people. If you go down the Mothership Discord, there's tons of people looking. I just hadn't tried to get it started because I want to play with people I know.
I'm just saying, because like I said, I want us to come up with, if we're going to do a schedule and we're going to do more than once a week, even if it's multiple games, even if it's pre-recorded games, there are days that
I want it to be pre-recorded so I can add sound effects because that's kind of a big thing in Mothership. They have a bunch of recordings for their modules.
That is actually a very good point.
Nathan just wants to have pew pew noises as you die.
No, like you're gonna die in that game. That's the whole thing. Like it's rough.
kind of like Paranoia, where here's your character and then here's the next 5 you'll have.
Yeah, basically, all the modules point out, hey, this is where your players can roll up new characters. This is a good spot to roll up a new character if they need to. So, and it's just like Sunshine. If you've seen that movie, Event Horizon, Alien, The Thing, things like that. That's its inspiration. If we keep it to an hour, we have interesting sound effects, and everybody here is a good role player. I just thought, it'd be fun. And it's like I said, it's starting to pick up. And there's a million D&D podcasts. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I just thought it might stand out against the wave. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. It's one of the reasons why I like Monster of the Week is because it's not D&D. And honestly,
Exactly.
like I really love, like both times I played it, I really love Call of Cthulhu.
We could also, like I said, I'm willing to share the sound effects and everything. Film. I have a video editor. I'm willing to edit, work on that. I'm not 100% great with it. I do have a little experience with it, doing the stuff at school, but I'm down. However y'all want to do it. I'll just want to start small and work our way up.
Well, and that's all great, but again, what I'm asking, so would we like to do Sunday Mondays is the days that we put stuff on stream?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
recommend we
that's-
spread it out.
And
Yeah,
and you can you can always, especially if y'all end up doing like on the Sunday game, doing a longer game, you can stream it.
Mhm.
If y'all do 4 hours, y'all can stream. Y'all can record it. Keep an eye on the clock, and at 2 hours or so, find a decent kind of stopping point. Sign off. Stop the recording. Start recording again. Do your welcome again. Continue playing for the next 2 hours, and then broadcast those recordings on Twitch for the stream. And at that point, you could potentially just have members of the group in chat responding to chat, or you could always just do it on post those onto YouTube as well. And you could, I would suggest doing it as well if we decide to go that route. I would always suggest posting it to YouTube as well, because I mean it's YouTube.
Everything we've streamed since I've started editing video has been put onto YouTube.
Yeah.
But again, the other thing I'm trying to figure out is I'm also figuring out how to arrange my schedule, since I'm the one that usually streams and edits.
well, I'm willing to help you with that. Is what I'm saying, Hewitt, and I'm also willing. Yeah, and Spence, I know, can do it too, huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, and then I was actually about to bring up that point about basically all of us here that we have unique different roles. So that like some of us are just actual bards, and in just fact most of us are, because we are all just a bunch of people who are just a bunch of jack of all trades. We literally do everything, but we do need to kind of have some kind of solidified roles to basically help out and also lessen the burden on everyone, like that, like that. I have some ideas for just merch that I want to present to y'all up and at the works, and then I think then that's a great idea for like that the mascot idea about like, since that that our catchphrase is like don't is just it's just that basically like don't let your meatloaf, that we can create a new mascot by the name of Chubb. It's a little bitty meatloaf, red or else brown gravy, kind of like meatloaf kind of critter. And then it'll just basically just be, somebody can make it a plushie. I got people to do that for like giveaway ideas and stuff like that. It's just, we just need to actually just sit down and actually like discuss, because that while we also do have Bosch Cow on tech, we also got Chris and also myself too, that who also knows some stuff of tech. So I don't want anyone to kind of feel like that they are like overwhelmed, or else like feeling like then that they are, that they get burnt out. And then that I know that that there has been concern about me going always above and beyond, but then that's just the type of person that I am, that if that that I want to help out, I will make sure that I am giving 120% of whatever that I do.
Yeah, well, with merch, I think like I like giving away like the stickers and decals during like the fuck during the extra. We just did Extra Life, my brain, but I think we can. I'd rather like focus on like consistency, like Hewitt wants, is consistency and shoring up the logistics. I think it's the best.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm down to help out. I just want to be given a role. You know what I mean? Like, Hewitt, I know you don't want to do everything, but send me a list of what you feel my strengths would be, okay, and what you want me doing. And I've told you what I'd like to do, okay.
Well, I know for a while you were going to also take over hosting duties because Roundtable was supposed to think to happen once every 2 weeks or something like that, and it kind of fell by the
You
wayside.
want to,
Mhm.
you want to, well, I
Every
can,
other week.
I think, Spencer, you hosting Roundtable, that's really something you're passionate about, right? Am I wrong on that?
I am hosting what?
The Roundtable, is that something
Yeah,
you want?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. I think Spencer is great for that. You know, I don't mind helping with that. I really don't, and I don't mind helping promote. Uh, I know. M does the Twitter. I can get on Instagram. We can make a Facebook, get it out there that way. If y'all are interested, I can help promote that way.
I
Help
think
M
I
out with that.
created an Instagram for TBA, but I never used Instagram before, so I have to go back and check if I actually made one.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm willing
You
to
can
step
handle
up
that.
in a
I don't know how Instagram works.
somehow I keep getting followers and I don't do anything. They're probably bots, but that's okay.
Still followers.
So,
Yeah.
so we're in agreement for 2 times a week. What 2 days do we want videos to go up? Because the only problem I have sometimes with pre-recorded is someone can be on there monitoring the chat while the video plays. It just takes a little, and this might just be me, it takes some of the moment out. So, I mean, if we pre recorded Chris's game on a Sunday and dropped it on Thursday, that would work because we're spacing things out. But
I was thinking of on a content schedule. Since you've had your game on Monday, obviously that needs to stay there. Wednesday, Friday. That way you can have the
Mm-hmm.
consistent stream. I don't know if that works for you. And like I said, I'm willing to help step up in a support role.
as
So you just
long
gotta
as long as we actually have the media to upload that much,
obviously
because like right
you should
now,
just
because right now the one game I know that is continuing is going to be Holy Winds. I don't know if we're going back to Stefan Carcass. I don't know when the next Anathema is going to be, because I know this week's going to be a dark week after this, mostly because everybody needs to recoup. Everybody needs to probably decompress just a tiny bit, because we did a massive chunk at one time. But, I mean, if we're going to start recording and folks want to do that so we can then upload it, that's perfectly fine with me. We got to actually get that content if that's what we want to do.
well, I'm gonna work out an outline and game plan, and I'll share it in the roundtable Discord.
All right.
Okay. I mean that with just like editing that that I think that whenever it comes to editing, I know whenever then that I know that I had did my own few recordings of that the entity killer tales and stuff, and then I had basically cut out some of the banter to basically like shorten it up and then like clean it up a little bit. And then that a lot of people had gave me good just feedback on that versus just like uploading the whole, hullabaloo, which in fact that you have your positives and also you have your negatives on that because that you feel like that you are missing out on those golden opportune moments, but also at the same time that if that you wanted to look professional or semi-professional, you have to kind of like cut some of the losses just for that the sake of making cleaner content. Did that come through?
Yep.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Yeah. Then that that there is like nothing wrong with just the format. All that I am is just saying that just to alleviate the processing power of that our own personal computers in a sense. Since then that we just need to just kind of like I don't know how in the world they were because of the fact that most of the time that we can now that everyone here can agree that we can basically turn a 1.5 hour game to a 4 hour game based on based on the shenanigans at just a Waffle House. And also, please, Waffle House, please sponsor us. Hashtag Waffle House, please sponsor us.
So, let's see. That's the main thing. The only other thing I had in here, I think, was table etiquette, because one of the things I noticed, and I'm guilty of it as well, we all have a habit of talking over each other online or in person. In person, it's not necessarily as bad, and I think that's one of the downfalls to, or not really downfall, but a downside to gaming online is, you might say something if you're lagging versus someone else's internet, it might come out at the same time. Or in my case, more than once, because I haven't gone back and clipped it. If you forget to take your microphone on Discord off of voice activated and you accidentally break manners, it picks up and does that while someone else is talking. So, I mean, that's something I feel like we got to work on just a little bit, but that'll probably come with time as we get more used to doing things like this. Yes, Nate, the farting pig bear. Thank you for the gift.
Good God, Nate, why? But yeah, I do 100% agree with that. I mean, that I think that I am the only person here. I think I am the only person here that doesn't use voice to talk because that I can basically be so quiet to that the point of where that I have my mic set up to where that any other extra noise that I'm doing, like if I am typing, writing down game notes or just whatever, then that I can just basically hit just mute or else just be just super super quiet.
You have a pretty good mic too.
Yeah. I know I'm on push to talk right now. It's just whenever I've streamed other video games, I have it on voice activated, and I forget to do it sometime. Which I guess that's a point I didn't write down. I was going to ask. The reason I keep posting a lot of games that I'm playing or crafting videos on the TBA page is because the second I log out, I got to get a security code, and even though I've changed the number in the system to my phone, it only seems to go to Claire's. Which means if I log out of the TBA page, I then have to wait for whenever that code can get back to me. So it means that if that happens, we might not be able to stream then because it's not accessible. So that's something else I got to work out on the actual stream setup. But does anyone mind that I actually post that stuff on the TBA page?
No.
I mean,
That's the kind of thing people really love. Go ahead, my bad.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have control over the content on there. So, I mean, post what you want.
That sounds so ominous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just biding my time.
Well, no, it's one of the things is that, Chris, I know I talked to you about it because you said it over the weekend, is like people keep saying, oh, it's your channel, it's your channel. It's like, I'm not even the one who made the channel. Claire did. So that we had a Twitch channel that was specifically for this because we originally played off of hers. So I've just been the one that's been running it, and I need to really sit down and learn everything you can do with Twitch, or learn everything that you can, like the whole thing with the charity this weekend. I didn't know how to set that up because Claire and Kyle set that up last year, told me that it would be handled this year, and then because of life, it's like I don't know how to do this, and we gotta get started. So I guess again that goes back to what I mentioned beforehand with
Having
redundant.
more people.
Yeah, more people that understand and can do it. And one thing I'll say is something that I think that failed this last year with TBA is I took very much a mentality of this is a group effort, so the whole group is involved in doing it. And I don't know if I made that clear on a couple things, so I know some things didn't get done because I didn't have the time to dedicate to it. And that's not fair to the channel, and that's not fair to the folks that are involved. So we definitely need to spread responsibilities out a little bit more, which I think is something we've all been kind of saying tonight, and just communicate and get it working together.
And yeah, and here's another thing. I mean, if we're going to talk to someone about doing something on the channel, or if like let's say I want to run a game on the channel, and I want to have a time slot, or we record something, or what have you. It's like you're putting yourself in the responsibility of helming that project. Now, your players do have to show up, of course, and they had to do. If they want to participate, they also have an obligation. But we can't fall to Hewitt, we can't fall to Claire, we can't fall to anyone else. Like, once you're running a game, it is your game and it's your responsibility. And it's also the responsibility of those players to show up and have what they need ready. Which I guess is that's I guess that's a pretty obvious point to have, but I feel like sometimes it just needs to be said out loud. I don't know.
Right. And then I can basically agree with that. That I do understand that we are all adults. IRL things do happen. You just got to just like let us know ahead of time so that way then that we can have that backup game. Say for example that it'll be me, just Nasa, Miro, and Frey. We are in a smallish monster of the week campaign that is ran by Chris or whoever, and then it basically that Chris decides that he had something to do that day that he had notified us, then that we can easily swap it to either Anathema or else just like one of Nasa's games or anybody up in that collective has a game, then that they can just pop in for just that extra content to basically make sure that nothing is there. But as far as in just that, like, so then that anything else, so then that we just don't sound like that we are still like basically that we can just we can basically hash out all of the roles and stuff, like alpha stream over just that a course of meetings and stuff. What kind of improvements that would you like for next year and other type of games? Because the fact that me being honest, that I love that co-DMing game so much than that I would not mind if I was co-DMing with like NASA, because I think that we will have good like res we now that we will have good synergy together, and then that that her storytelling style would just that my wicked dice rolls, y'all will be in for a treat.
Yeah, we would end up being the bro TP.
Yeah, like I said before, the two big games that I would like to do, and I don't mind like using my games as a means to kind of test out the things I would like to do in terms of lighting and audio and video and things like that, is the Into the Woods game and a potential Pugmire game. So yeah, like that is something I would like to do. If other people have an idea, maybe we should make a channel and have like a 2022 lineup of potential games, and we can kind of come up with a schedule.
That is underneath game ideas, up underneath the D&Ds.
Look, there's so many channels.
Yeah,
so many.
There's so many different threads. But let me see. I've got stuff written down. Chris wants to run a Sunday game. We're going to keep our Monday game. Set up a spreadsheet and a calendar. Next year's Extra Life have less games so we can have more windows in between. And then we got the family reunion with board games in spring with the potential of investing in equipment if we can get the consistency up to legitimize it.
Well, I'm like I said, I would still like to run a mothership game if you won't. But if I'll play in a game.
That's fine. We just got to figure out when we would run it and then record it or stream it. I mean, whatever we want to play is perfectly fine. But like I said, I guess the big thing I'm looking at is logistics. So if we have these days set aside to play or these days set aside to stream, and you say you want in, and then we schedule it in, and it runs until you want it done.
Sounds good.
If we're going to start looking for roles, I think I might end up being the what is it you called me over the weekend, Spencer? My brain's trying to shut off.
What do you mean?
You said I had one role during one of the games.
I'm trying to think. What did I actually say? That my brain just shut off.
Was it producer?
Oh, gotcha.
His party dad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just fall in that role all the time, Nasa.
Yeah. I mean that basically. Then what I was basically saying is that me and Chris are both like that, the resident chefs, since that most of our players are. I mean, since that most of our PCs are always a cook up in just our games and stuff that we play in, and then that I just don't want the stress of everything to fall on somebody's back, in a sense, because that we are a team that who has a lot of bonus actions, no pun intended there. So we can basically help out each other, make it just through this initiative roll call of fighting this dragon, of basically making our channel better, and basically dousing some of these flames to just basically making this dragon our familiar, in a sense, so people can actually enjoy it rather than just watch this dragon destroy each and every one of us, in a sense. So it's just some things that we just got to work out with. But overall, I would say that the ranking of the events would be that this one is number one for sure. Then that the last year's, and then that the final one was the 24-hour one, would always be in last, because 24-hour streams suck.
They do, but it does have a special place in my heart.
What is that? The straight 24-hour stream?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, never
that
again.
They suck.
Never again.
They suck.
Never again. I love that we did it. Never again.
Yeah, that a lot. That was amazing. Let's never do that again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll make an outline of my idea, and I'll just post it here, and I'll put it in a Google Doc. Everybody can edit. Did everybody just add to it?
All right.
Yeah, definitely do that because I would like to see the game system. I think you posted it to me before.
I only posted a picture of it. Like it takes literally the character sheet. If you've ever played an RPG, you can make it in a character in 30 seconds. Like it's ridiculously easy. Anyway, I meant just overall like organization plan and everyone go in there and edit it. But anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. Y'all go ahead.
No, you're fine. Like, yeah, definitely would love to look into Mothership. And I'll not only do the stuff for Into the Woods and all that, but I'm going to have a list of things and I'll just post it in there and it'll just be, of course, we want to wait until we get a little bit more consistent, but it'll be there for when people.
I think the main focus should be the Monday game for now, promoting it, and I'll help promote it just because it's the strongest, because it's the most consistent game. It has the most length, and I would like to work on just promoting, getting subscribers and getting viewers. So I think that I'll take that goal and I'll support. So if y'all want me to do that, I'll do it. Y'all just tell me. I just don't want to step on anyone's toes because that's not a game I'm involved in, you know?
That's another thing, trying to get into like the algorithm for Twitch is like trying to.
I mean, I would do it. I would go everywhere. Like Nasa said, TikTok. We could get her on that. M on Twitter and any other social media. Just throw it out there. One thing I've noticed is hashtags are important on Instagram to get yourself noticed. So I put stuff that are even tangibly related to what I'm posting. But anyway.
Hell yeah.
I try on Twitter. I just never know if I'm using the right hashtags.
I got you back. Yeah. We'll knock that out.
And then I had been kind of like low key your backup Twitter frame, and then that's how I had got some of those big name to basically check us out that 1 week.
We need to. That's another good point, Spencer. We need to cultivate relationships within the streaming community. That would be good.
I talked to a few streamers, and I mean, I'll see what I can do. The problem is, it's like when it comes to the streaming community, like people will like promote you, but the problem is getting people over to you because they'll be like, "Oh, cool, you'll get a raid or you'll get a couple of follows," but then those people probably won't come back. Unfortunately, it's
man, that's just the nature of the beast,
yeah.
But the more you get out there,
on top, like Twitch is just so bad about promoting content creators.
Well, we'll figure it out, and I'll do some research and I'll post it in this channel. Go ahead, Spence. Sorry.
And then also that another thing could be just basically if that, say for example, that I am doing just a team bonus action art piece or something that I can give, either that you or else Miro, basically that the footage for that speed drawing it, that can be for the channel to use for additional content. So it's just not just our games, and then also that Miro can also, if that that somebody else can help out with that, he can basically do some quick tutorials on like making simple terrain or something like that, just stuff like that, that helps out tremendously of just making the content varied in a sense, so that way then that that everybody on the team is showcasing that their unique talents and skills.
Yeah.
It just depends. It just depends on just people's time time, and then that that basically that I know that that most of the people that who have done any type of streaming here, you literally have to learn everything yourself. You have to learn to be your own editor.
yeah.
You have to write your own scripts. You have to come up with your own unique tags and stuff.
Up
It's
until the
just
point you get commissions and paid editors.
it
All right.
is a lot of work.
Sorry, don't want to talk over everybody. I was going
So
to say we've pushed well past the hour mark, which is usually where we leave a round table. Some of
oh,
this is
gotcha. Sorry.
some of this is stuff we're going to have to clarify later because the big thing is I think we all know the direction we kind of want to go, kind of want to do, and that's a big help. But the big thing here, and this is going to be being the dour Donnie, is we got to actually do it. And a lot of this, for lack of a better term, is I'm going to have to see people actually do it because we've said this before in the past, but I feel we can actually do it, and we need to if this is what we actually want to do. So,
Well, I'm pretty inspired at the moment. Like I've been writing more. I've submitted some work, and I'm just ready to keep on writing. And this game is really the one I just something I'm trying to think of something quick and easy. So I'm down. We can do it in person or whatever. Just I don't want to like because I know y'all just had a mind melting session. So maybe after Thanksgiving we could shoot for it.
yeah, right now I think we've had a good spitball session. We just
Do
got
we want to,
go ahead, Em. I'm sorry.
just to kind of end on something a little lighter, do we want to throw out there any ideas for themes or stuff we have for next year?
Someone said sci-fi, and I think that'd be dope because
I know,
at least
That'd be good.
yeah, Sci-Fi or Claire said cyberpunk, I think, before they left, and I
Yeah,
I
we
had
can
an
do
idea.
that.
Hey,
I had
Magitech sci-fi. Well, science fiction more so, since that we've already did Wild West. Go with sci-fi.
Yeah, and I think
But that'll work.
Cyberpunk kind of falls into that. And honestly, we can do the carbon system, Hewitt. You know, the one that Gizmo showed us.
mm-hmm.
I had an idea. I
And
don't think it would
Magitech.
work. I had an idea that I don't think would work for an entire weekend. But if we were to maybe do, like we did during, lockdown and everything, we did a couple 1 or 2 day stream to raise money in the middle of the year, and I thought I was just thinking the theme could be parody, like parody of movies or something, or a parody of other big gamers is the theme. Not like literally pretending to be Critical Role or my brother and me, but kind of going off a parody of that as a theme for something we play.
That might work, although half of Hewitt's games tend to be like some sort of parody anyway.
Well, that's what I was
Make-
saying. More like not parody of like a movie or like a reference to something that's like Pokemon or that. But that's why I just kind of thought
I will
go
start
with.
I will start growing my hair out so I can parody Laura Bailey. I got the overalls.
Well, this has to happen now.
Anyway.
Anyway, oh God. So then just as Miro said, I think that, that all of these are very good points, then that we will be discussing these off stream. That I just want to just say thank you so much to everybody that who has donated, donated, because that we have reached our goal. And then that, that donation link is still open. So if that we happen to go past our goal, a fee of just $1,500, then that'd be very, very appreciative. And then I would like to thank everyone for this roundtable. And then since that Knox is here,
Don't let your meatloaf.
good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And then